When you're 67 years old and staring at an empty bank account, the world suddenly feels very different. Your hands might shake a little when you open those bills, and your heart might race when you think about tomorrow, next week, next year. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Millions of seniors across America are living this reality right now, and society doesn't talk about it nearly enough. Maybe you're sitting there right now, wondering how you ended up here. Perhaps you spent decades caring for others, sacrificing your own financial security for your family's immediate needs. Maybe illness wiped out your savings, or a divorce left you starting over when you thought you'd be winding down. Or maybe life just happened, one unexpected expense at a time, until retirement savings became an impossible dream. Whatever brought you to this moment, you need to know something important. Your worth isn't measured by the size of your bank account or whether your children can support you. You still have value, dignity, and most importantly, options. Real, practical options that can help you not just survive, but find genuine peace in these years. Let me share what thousands of seniors have discovered about supporting themselves when traditional safety nets aren't there. These aren't feel-good platitudes or unrealistic dreams. These are concrete strategies that real people are using right now to create stability and purpose in their later years. The truth about starting over after 65 is both harder and more hopeful than most people realize. Yes, your energy might be different than it was at 30. Yes, some doors have closed. But other doors you might never have noticed before, are standing wide open. And walking through them might just lead you to a life that's more authentic and satisfying than anything you've experienced before. Your body might move a little slower, but your mind holds decades of wisdom that younger people are desperately seeking. Your resume might have gaps, but your life experience has taught you things that can't be learned in any classroom. Your nest egg might be empty, but your capacity for resilience, creativity, and reinvention is probably stronger than you realize. The first thing you need to understand about supporting yourself in later life is that the old rules don't always apply. The traditional career ladder, the 9-to-5 grind, the corporate benefits package, these might not be your path forward, and that's actually liberating. When you're free from conventional expectations, you can create something entirely different, something that actually fits your life as it is now, not as others think it should be. Consider someone who, at 69, found herself with no pension and minimal Social Security. Instead of panicking, she looked around her small apartment and noticed something. She had decades of experience organizing homes, managing households, and solving practical problems. She started offering her services as a life organizer for busy families and overwhelmed seniors. Within 6 months, she had steady clients and was earning enough to cover her basic needs while doing work that felt meaningful. Or perhaps you can relate to someone whose manufacturing job disappeared along with his pension when the company went bankrupt. He spent a week feeling sorry for himself, then remembered how much neighbors used to pay for simple home repairs that contractors wouldn't bother with. He invested $200 in basic tools and started fixing loose cabinet doors, replacing faucets, and hanging pictures. Word spread quickly in his senior community, and soon he had more work than he could handle. These stories aren't miraculous. They're practical examples of what becomes possible when you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What now?" The key isn't finding the perfect solution immediately. The key is recognizing that you still have agency, skills, and value to offer the world. Your age isn't a limitation in this equation, it's often an advantage. When you're older, you've learned to cut through nonsense and focus on what actually matters. You've developed patience that younger people haven't acquired yet. You've survived enough challenges to know that most problems have solutions, even when they're not immediately obvious. The second crucial understanding is that supporting yourself doesn't necessarily mean earning a full-time income. It might mean reducing your expenses creatively, finding ways to generate small but steady revenue streams, or combining multiple approaches to create a sustainable life. When you're older, your needs might actually be simpler than they were when you were raising children or building a career. Many seniors discover that they can live well on much less than they thought, especially when they're no longer maintaining large homes, commuting to work, or supporting dependent family members. This isn't about settling for less. It's about discovering what you actually need for contentment versus what society told you to want. Financial security in your later years might look like house-sitting for travelers while saving on rent, selling handmade crafts at local markets, offering tutoring or consultation in your areas of expertise, or finding part-time work that provides both income and social connection. It might mean moving to a smaller space in a more affordable area or finding creative ways to share expenses with other seniors. The beauty of this approach is that it puts you in control. Instead of waiting for someone else to solve your problems or feeling helpless about circumstances beyond your control, you become the author of your own stability. Every small step you take builds confidence and opens up possibilities you hadn't considered before. One of the most overlooked resources available to seniors is the wealth of knowledge and experience stored in your own mind. You've lived through decades of changes, learned countless skills, solved innumerable problems, and developed perspectives that have genuine value in today's world. The challenge isn't that you lack qualifications, it's that you might not recognize how valuable your qualifications actually are. Think about what you know that others need to learn. Maybe you understand how to manage a household efficiently, how to cook nutritious meals on a tight budget, how to maintain relationships through difficult times, or how to navigate bureaucratic systems. Maybe you have professional skills that could be offered on a consulting basis, or personal talents that could generate income through teaching or creating. The internet has made it easier than ever for seniors to connect with people who need exactly what they have to offer. Online platforms allow you to offer services like virtual assistants, tutoring, consulting, or selling handmade items without the overhead of a physical business. Many seniors find that they can earn meaningful income working just a few hours a week from their own homes. But supporting yourself isn't just about money. It's about creating a life structure that sustains you emotionally, socially, and physically as well as financially. The most successful seniors are those who find ways to combine income generation with purpose, social connection, and personal satisfaction. This might mean working part-time at a local library where you can help others while earning money and staying socially connected. It might mean starting a small garden and selling produce at farmers markets, combining physical activity, creativity, and income. It might mean offering child care services to working parents, bringing the joy of children into your life while providing a valuable service. The key is to think broadly about what constitutes support. Yes, you need money to pay bills and buy groceries, but you also need reasons to get up in the morning, people to interact with, and activities that make you feel useful and engaged. The best solutions address multiple needs simultaneously. Housing represents the largest expense for most seniors, so finding creative housing solutions can dramatically impact your financial situation. This doesn't necessarily mean moving to a tiny apartment and feeling cramped. It might mean exploring options like house sharing with other seniors, taking care of someone's property in exchange for free housing, or finding affordable senior housing in areas you hadn't considered before. Many seniors discover that moving to a smaller town or different region can cut their living expenses in half while providing a better quality of life. Your money goes further, the pace is more relaxed, and communities are often more welcoming to newcomers who want to get involved. Transportation is another area where creative thinking can save significant money while maintaining independence. Depending on your location and mobility, this might mean using public transportation, participating in senior ride-sharing programs, or simply choosing to live in a walkable area where you can access most services without a car. Healthcare costs represent a major concern for seniors, but there are more resources available than many people realize. Community health centers, senior-specific programs, prescription assistance programs, and preventive care initiatives can significantly reduce medical expenses while maintaining good health. The key is researching what's available in your area and taking advantage of programs designed specifically for seniors. Food security can be maintained through a combination of smart shopping, cooking skills, local food banks if needed, and programs like senior farmers market vouchers. Many seniors find that they actually eat better and spend less when they focus on simple, nutritious cooking rather than convenience foods or restaurant meals. The psychological aspect of supporting yourself is just as important as the practical elements. When you're taking active steps to care for yourself, when you're contributing something valuable to the world, when you're learning new skills and meeting new people, your sense of self-worth and mental health improve dramatically. This isn't about pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about recognizing that even in challenging circumstances, you have more power than you might realize. Every small action you take to improve your situation builds momentum and confidence. Every connection you make opens up new possibilities. Every skill you develop or rediscover adds to your arsenal of options. Many seniors report that the period when they had to figure out how to support themselves independently, while initially frightening, ultimately became one of the most empowering times of their lives. Stripped of external safety nets, they discovered internal resources they didn't know they possessed. Forced to be creative, they found solutions that were more satisfying than their previous circumstances. Your situation might feel overwhelming right now, but consider breaking it down into manageable pieces. What do you need to address immediately? What can wait a few weeks or months? What resources do you already have that you might not be fully utilizing? What small step could you take today that would move you in a positive direction? Remember that you don't have to solve everything at once. You don't have to have a perfect plan before you start. You just have to begin somewhere with whatever you have available right now. Each small success builds on the previous one, creating momentum and revealing opportunities you couldn't see from where you started. The path forward might not look like anything you imagined when you were younger, but that doesn't mean it's a lesser path. It might actually be more authentic, more aligned with your true values and interests, more connected to your community, and more satisfying than the traditional retirement model that many people discover doesn't work for them anyway. Your later years can be a time of reinvention, discovery, and genuine contribution. Financial challenges, while stressful, don't have to define your experience or limit your possibilities. With creativity, persistence, and a willingness to try new approaches, you can create a life that provides both security and satisfaction. The world needs what you have to offer. Your experience, your perspective, your skills, and your wisdom are valuable resources that can benefit others while supporting yourself. The challenge is connecting what you have with what others need. And that connection is entirely possible, regardless of your current circumstances. You've survived every challenge life has thrown at you so far. You've learned, adapted, and persevered through changes and difficulties that would have overwhelmed the person you were decades ago. Those same qualities that got you this far, resilience, creativity, determination, and wisdom, are exactly what you need to create stability and purpose in the years ahead. Your story isn't over. In fact, some of the most meaningful chapters might still be ahead of you. The senior years can be a time when you finally have the freedom to pursue what truly matters to you, to contribute in ways that feel authentic, and to discover capabilities you never had time to explore when you were busy meeting everyone else's expectations. You don't need a pension to have security. You don't need savings to have options. You don't need your children's support to have dignity and independence. What you need is the willingness to see your situation clearly, the creativity to explore unconventional solutions, and the courage to take action even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. Every day that you wake up with breath in your lungs and thoughts in your mind, you have the opportunity to improve your circumstances. Every conversation you have, every small service you provide, every problem you solve for someone else, every new thing you learn or try contributes to building a life that sustains and satisfies you. The path might not be easy, but it's entirely possible. And walking that path with intention and hope might just lead you to discover that these years, the ones you thought would be about winding down, are actually about stepping into the most authentic and empowered version of yourself you've ever been. The beauty of discovering your own path forward is that it reminds you of something society often forgets to tell seniors. You're not done growing, learning, or contributing. Your best years might not be behind you. They might be right now, in this moment, when you're reading these words and considering what's possible. Many people spend their entire working lives following someone else's blueprint for success, only to discover in their later years that the blueprint doesn't actually lead to fulfillment. But when circumstances force you to write your own rules, something remarkable can happen. You might discover that the life you create for yourself, even starting from scratch, is more authentic and satisfying than anything you've experienced before. This isn't about pretending that financial stress isn't real or that starting over in your senior years is easy. It's about recognizing that even in difficult circumstances, you still have choices. You can choose how to respond to your situation. You can choose what to focus on. You can choose how to spend your energy and attention. Every small action you take to improve your circumstances builds momentum. Every skill you rediscover or develop adds to your toolkit. Every connection you make opens up new possibilities. Every problem you solve for someone else demonstrates your value and builds your confidence. The seniors who thrive in challenging circumstances aren't necessarily the ones with the most resources. They're the ones who maintain their sense of agency and possibility. They're the ones who stay curious about what might work. They're the ones who remember that their worth isn't determined by their net worth. Your situation right now, whatever it looks like, is just your starting point. It's not your destination. Where you go from here depends on the choices you make and the actions you take. And every day brings new opportunities to make choices that move you in a positive direction. Some days that choice might be as simple as getting dressed and walking to the mailbox. Other days, it might be reaching out to a neighbor who needs help with something you know how to do. Some days, it might be researching a new possibility you hadn't considered before. The size of the action matters less than the consistency of taking action. Remember that you've already proven your resilience. You've survived every challenge life has thrown at you so far. You've adapted to changes, overcome obstacles, and kept going when things got difficult. Those same qualities that got you this far are exactly what you need to create stability and purpose in the years ahead. Your later years can be a time of unexpected discovery. When the external pressures and expectations fall away, when you're no longer trying to meet someone else's definition of success, you might find yourself free to explore interests and capabilities you never had time for before. This freedom, even when it comes with financial challenges, can be profoundly liberating. The world needs what you have to offer. Your decades of experience, your hard-won wisdom, your unique perspective on life. These are valuable resources that can benefit others while providing you with purpose and income. The key is connecting what you have with what others need, and that connection is possible regardless of your current circumstances. The journey of supporting yourself in your later years without traditional safety nets isn't just about survival. It's about rediscovering who you are when you're free from other people's expectations. It's about learning that your value doesn't come from your bank account, your children's success, or society's approval. Your value comes from the simple fact that you're here, you're breathing, and you have something unique to contribute to the world. Every morning when you wake up, you have the opportunity to write a new page in your story. It might not be the story you originally planned, but it can still be a good story. It can be a story of resilience, creativity, and unexpected joy. It can be a story that inspires others who find themselves in similar circumstances. Your senior years don't have to be about managing decline or accepting limitations. They can be about embracing possibilities you never had time to explore before. They can be about discovering strengths you didn't know you possessed. They can be about creating a life that reflects your true values and interests, rather than someone else's expectations. The path forward might require courage, creativity, and persistence. It might involve some trial and error. It might mean stepping outside your comfort zone and trying things you've never done before. But it also offers something precious, the chance to live authentically, on your own terms, creating meaning and purpose from whatever circumstances you find yourself in. Your story isn't over. In many ways, it might just be beginning. The experiences that brought you to this point, even the difficult ones, have prepared you for whatever comes next. You have everything you need to take the next step, and the next, building a life that sustains and satisfies you regardless of what anyone else thinks you should be doing at your age. If you've found yourself nodding along to any part of this journey, or if you have your own story of reinventing life after traditional expectations fell away, your experience matters and could inspire someone else who needs to hear it today.